Jamie Forde walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage. He looked calm, cool, and confident. But what the cameras didn't show? That was just the surface. Behind the smile was a story producers never aired, from personal struggles and secret setbacks to a powerful decision that nearly cost him everything. This isn't just about talent. It's about what Jamie risked, what the show kept quiet, and why some insiders believe his audition was never supposed to happen the way it did. This is what Britain's Got Talent didn't tell you about Jamie Forde. And once you hear it, you'll never see his performance the same way again. Jamie Forde, a 19-year-old rapper hailing from Cork, Ireland, captured the attention of audiences and judges alike during his audition for Series 18 of Britain's Got Talent. His original rap, Life in a Wheelchair, offered a poignant glimpse into his personal experiences, shedding light on the challenges and societal perceptions faced by wheelchair users. This video aims to delve deeper into Jamie's background, his audition journey, and the impact he has made both during and after his appearance on the show. By exploring these facets, we hope to provide a comprehensive understanding of Jamie Forde's story and the significance of his message. Growing up in Cork, Jamie Forde was immersed in a vibrant cultural environment that greatly influenced his musical aspirations. From a young age, he exhibited a keen interest in music, often drawing inspiration from various genres and artists. The rich musical heritage of Ireland, combined with contemporary influences, played a pivotal role in shaping his unique sound. Jamie's passion for rapping emerged as a medium through which he could authentically express his thoughts and experiences. His journey was not without challenges. Navigating life in a wheelchair presented obstacles that he continually worked to overcome. These experiences became central themes in his music, allowing him to connect with listeners on a profound level. Jamie's determination and resilience were evident as he honed his craft, performing at local venues and participating in community events. His commitment to using music as a platform for advocacy set him apart as an artist with a purpose. As Jamie's rise in the music scene continued, he began to attract attention from larger platforms, but would they embrace him or turn him away? With his determination, he was on the cusp of something big, but the road ahead was far from certain. Would the challenges of fame prove to be more daunting than the obstacles he had faced in his personal life? Could his unique voice cut through the noise of an ever-evolving industry? And then, just when it seemed like everything was falling into place, a twist in Jamie's story threatened to unravel everything he'd worked so hard for. What happened next would redefine his journey. But was he ready for what lay ahead? Jamie Forde's audition for Britain's Got Talent was a defining moment in his musical journey. Stepping onto the stage, he introduced himself to the judges and audience, exuding a blend of confidence and sincerity. Performing his original composition, Life in a Wheelchair, Jamie delivered a powerful narrative that resonated deeply with listeners. The rap eloquently depicted his personal experiences, shedding light on the daily realities and societal perceptions faced by individuals with disabilities. His lyrical prowess, combined with an emotive delivery, created an atmosphere of introspection and empathy within the auditorium. The audience's reaction was immediate and heartfelt, with many moved by the authenticity of his performance. Jamie's ability to translate his lived experiences into compelling artistry not only showcased his talent, but also highlighted the transformative power of music as a tool for social commentary and change. As Jamie Forde stood on that stage, his nerves began to fade, replaced by an unshakable determination to share his truth. But what would happen next? Would the judges see the same potential that the audience did, or would they dismiss him despite the emotional weight of his performance? The answer could change the course of his career forever. When Jamie Forde took to the stage and delivered his heartfelt original rap, Life in a Wheelchair, the atmosphere in the auditorium shifted. What had begun as a standard talent show audition quickly evolved into something far more emotional, powerful, and transformative. From the moment Jamie began to perform, his raw honesty and lyrical authenticity gripped the judges' attention. His words painted a vivid picture of life as a young man navigating the world in a wheelchair, not with pity, but with power, clarity, and resilience. It didn't take long for the gravity of his message to resonate deeply with both the judges and the audience. Amanda Holden was visibly moved by the performance. As someone who has long championed emotional depth and authenticity in the acts she supports, she described Jamie's rap as brilliant, her tone filled with admiration. She emphasized not only the strength of his lyrics, but also the way he delivered them, with confidence, clarity, and conviction. Her praise was not performative. It was grounded in genuine respect for Jamie's ability to turn pain into poetry. Amanda's response reflected a broader acknowledgement of the unique space Jamie occupied on that stage, an artist telling his truth in a room full of strangers, daring to be vulnerable, and using his art to challenge deeply ingrained stereotypes. Simon Cowell, often known for his blunt critiques and high standards, offered praise that carried even more weight because of his reputation. He pointed out Jamie's great attitude, a statement that went beyond mere politeness. What Simon was really doing was acknowledging the mental strength it took for Jamie to share such a deeply personal piece on national television. He recognized that Jamie wasn't just performing for applause. He was taking a risk, exposing a side of life many people never get to see. Simon's approval served as a validation of Jamie's artistry and his intent, reinforcing that what he had done on that stage was not just good, it was necessary. Alicia Dixon, a performer and lyricist herself, was particularly attuned to the nuances of Jamie's writing and rhythm. She pointed out how his words carried not just rhyme, but weight. She remarked on the emotional resonance that flowed through every bar, highlighting the bravery it takes to put one's personal story on such a public platform. Bruno Tonioli, known for his exuberant personality and expressive feedback, took a more emotional route. He applauded Jamie's charisma and authenticity, describing the performance as beautifully honest and deeply human. His emotional reaction helped underscore how Jamie's performance transcended entertainment. It became an experience. What made the judges' reaction so special wasn't just the praise, it was how their comments helped elevate Jamie's voice. They didn't focus solely on his disability or treat him as an inspirational figure simply because of it. Instead, they focused on his skill, his message, and the art itself. Their feedback reflected a meaningful shift in how disability and representation can be approached on mainstream platforms, not with condescension, but with respect and recognition. Collectively, the judges validated Jamie not as a novelty act or as a symbol, but as a legitimate artist with something vital to say. They helped frame his audition as not only one of the most memorable of the season, but also one of the most important. In doing so, they helped spark a wider conversation that extended far beyond the stage, one about visibility, creativity, and the power of telling your own story on your own terms. Would Jamie's performance inspire not just his peers, but a new generation of performers with disabilities to step into the spotlight and share their own stories? Or would the weight of his newfound platform prove too overwhelming for someone who had never dreamed of such widespread recognition? And as the competition continued, would the judges' unwavering support be enough to propel Jamie past the next level, against competitors who may have been less open but more polished in their performances? Following his appearance on Britain's Got Talent, Jamie Forde embraced a new chapter of his musical journey with a sense of renewed purpose and momentum. No longer just an aspiring rapper from Cork, Ireland, Jamie now had the eyes of thousands, if not millions, upon him. He took full advantage of the exposure, diving headfirst into opportunities that allowed him to showcase not only his lyrical abilities, but also the deeply human stories he carries with him. Rather than allowing his BGT appearance to be a fleeting moment of fame, Jamie treated it as a launchpad, a way to grow a movement around his message. One of the first ways he did this was by utilizing social media as a tool for connection, expression, and growth. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube became places where he could consistently share snippets of his new music, freestyle sessions, and behind-the-scenes insights into his creative process. Through these outlets, Jamie not only grew his following, but also cultivated a dedicated fan base that resonated with his authenticity and drive. Jamie's social media presence wasn't limited to music alone. It was equally about building awareness around life as a person who uses a wheelchair. His honesty in discussing accessibility challenges, societal stigmas, and personal triumphs gave his followers more than just songs to listen to. It gave them stories to feel, issues to care about, and a person to rally behind. His ability to intertwine his artistry with powerful advocacy made him more than just another performer. He became a voice, particularly for young people navigating disabilities, who saw themselves reflected in his words and experiences. In the months following his audition, Jamie also began collaborating with other musicians and creators, both locally in Ireland and abroad. These partnerships introduced his work to fresh audiences and allowed him to experiment with different styles and genres, all while staying rooted in his identity as a storyteller and advocate. Whether performing at community events, school assemblies, or charity fundraisers, Jamie brought the same passion and authenticity that captivated the BGT judges. His performances became more than entertainment. They became educational, eye-opening, and impactful experiences for those in attendance. Jamie's post-show journey serves as a case study in how reality television, when used intentionally, can do more than manufacture short-lived fame. For Jamie, BGT was never just about making it as a rapper. It was about using a televised moment to ignite a lifelong mission. Through consistency, passion, and purpose, Jamie Forde has turned a single performance into an ever-growing platform for inclusivity, representation, and meaningful change, proving that the real work starts after the cameras stop rolling. The public and media response to Jamie Forde's performance on Britain's Got Talent was nothing short of extraordinary. From the moment his audition aired, it became clear that his message, his authenticity, and his talent had struck a deep emotional chord with viewers across the United Kingdom and beyond. Social media platforms quickly lit up with praise and admiration for the young rapper from Cork, Ireland. Hashtags related to his performance began trending on Twitter, now X, as thousands of users reposted clips of his audition, quoted his lyrics, and expressed how moved they were by both his words and his delivery. Comments poured in highlighting the emotional power of Jamie's song, Life in a Wheelchair, which candidly addressed the reality of living with a disability in a world that often overlooks or misunderstands that experience. People who had never seen themselves represented on such a mainstream stage shared how validating it felt to hear Jamie's story told in such a raw, artistic, and unapologetic way. Media outlets quickly took notice of the buzz. Major British tabloids and entertainment sites ran features on Jamie, often accompanied by headlines calling his performance heart-stopping, eye-opening, or the most important audition of the season. But the coverage wasn't just about entertainment value. Many pieces dove into the deeper social impact of Jamie's message. Some publications interviewed disability advocates who praised Jamie for bringing attention to issues like accessibility, independence, and the assumptions people make about wheelchair users. Others focused on his artistry, noting how rare it was to see a rapper not only excel musically on the BGT stage, but also use his platform to promote meaningful social change. What stood out was the unique intersection of Jamie's lyrical skill and lived experience. He wasn't just telling a story, he was the story, and the truth behind his bars gave them undeniable weight. Even fellow artists and celebrities chimed in online with some sharing words of encouragement or admiration for Jamie's courage and poetic honesty. Others called on the music industry to pay attention, urging labels and producers to consider signing talent like Jamie, who clearly had something special to offer. Not just musically, but as a voice for a broader community that's too often underrepresented. Disability rights organizations, particularly in Ireland and the UK, also boosted Jamie's performance, pointing to it as a cultural moment that opened up public dialogue about inclusion, especially in media and entertainment. Some even began using snippets from Jamie's lyrics in campaigns, further extending the reach of his message. In short, Jamie Forde's audition did more than entertain. It ignited conversation, inspired countless individuals, and showed that authenticity and advocacy could walk hand in hand with mainstream success. His performance wasn't just a television moment, it became a social moment, one that challenged perceptions and brought greater visibility to the stories that too often go unheard. The groundswell of support he received was a testament not only to his talent, but also to the hunger the world has for real stories told by real people, without filters or pretenses. Despite the overwhelmingly positive reception to his performance on Britain's Got Talent, Jamie Forde's journey in the music industry has not been without its fair share of hurdles. While his moment on the show shone a spotlight on his remarkable talent and compelling message, it did not erase the deeper, ongoing challenges that come with navigating the entertainment world as a disabled and independent artist. Unlike contestants who may already have industry backing or physical ease of movement to access every opportunity, Jamie had to work twice as hard to make his voice heard. Not just creatively, but logistically. Accessibility remains a significant issue in the music and entertainment sectors. From venues that are not wheelchair-friendly to rehearsal spaces that lack the accommodations needed for artists with disabilities, Jamie often found himself excluded from the spaces where art is typically cultivated and shared. What many take for granted, climbing a few stairs to reach a stage, navigating green rooms, or even using backstage facilities, can become insurmountable challenges for performers like Jamie. unless significant adaptations are made. Beyond the physical barriers, there are also deeply ingrained systemic issues around representation. The industry tends to spotlight a narrow mold of what it perceives as marketable, often overlooking those who don't fit conventional standards. Jamie's identity as a wheelchair user and as someone unafraid to rap about uncomfortable truths placed him in a unique yet marginalized category. While his honesty was appreciated by audiences, he found that certain gatekeepers in the industry were hesitant to fully support an artist who was so overtly political and personal. Labels and booking agents sometimes prefer a more sanitized version of storytelling, one that entertains without necessarily challenging societal norms. Jamie, however, refuses to dilute his message, which sometimes results in lost opportunities or slower momentum compared to his peers. Balancing his role as an advocate for disability rights with his ambition to grow musically also adds complexity to Jamie's path. There's a constant tension between speaking out on important issues and ensuring that his music remains accessible and enjoyable to a wide audience. This dual responsibility often means working overtime, not just in the studio or on social media, but also behind the scenes, advocating for systemic change. From seeking accessible transportation for tours to ensuring inclusive media coverage, every step of his career demands extra effort and emotional resilience. Despite these challenges, Jamie has never let the weight of the system extinguish his drive. His continued progress is a powerful reminder that perseverance, authenticity, and passion can break through even the most rigid structures. His story is not just one of artistic talent, but of advocacy, courage, and a relentless push to ensure that the arts truly become a space where everyone, regardless of ability, can thrive, create, and be seen. Jamie Forde's journey on Britain's Got Talent illuminated the transformative power of music as a vehicle for both personal expression and widespread societal change. His audition, centered around his original rap, "Life in a Wheelchair," was not simply a display of lyrical ability, it was a deeply emotional and insightful narrative drawn from lived experience. What made Jamie's performance especially powerful wasn't just his flow or delivery, though those were undeniably strong. It was the way he used his platform to tell a story that rarely finds representation on mainstream stages. Through his words, he opened a window into the everyday realities of navigating life with a disability, not through a lens of pity, but through one of strength, clarity, and creative passion. In that short performance, Jamie succeeded in doing something most artists strive their whole lives to achieve. He made the audience feel something real. He compelled them to think beyond the surface, to confront their own biases, and to listen. And in doing so, he challenged the typical narrative around what a performer should look or sound like on such a grand televised stage. For those living with disabilities, his performance was more than just entertainment. It was a moment of long overdue representation, a powerful affirmation that their voices too deserve to be heard in mainstream culture. For others, it was a wake-up call about the often unseen social and emotional barriers that come with being differently abled. Beyond the bright lights and camera crews, Jamie's commitment to using his platform for advocacy only deepens the impact of his story. In interviews and on social media, he has remained vocal about the importance of access, equality, and visibility for people with disabilities. He has continued writing music that reflects his truth, collaborating with others,